Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Fire Emblem Binding Blade, and it's the final chapter, this is the final chapter we get to see Roy as a standard unit, because he's finally going to promote after God knows how fucking long. Anyway, joining me today, we have Mr. Hanzano.
Yes, it's me again from chapter 14. I hope you guys are having a good time.
And coming back from chapter 14 as well is Paper Mario Fan 1.
Yep, I'm back once again for I think if I remember correctly, this was the last map we did recordings for years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, oh wow, it all comes full circle. And RNG Gumi is with us as well.
Hey, what up? You with Iron Gumi here? BLAZEPLAYS on 69.420 FM.
Yeah, it's very early morning over where he is. But anyway, so this chapter is the last Gaiden chapter, and it's the one where we get the last legendary weapon, in this case, the Tome Apocalypse, which is a Dark Tome, and I think it's possibly next to the Binding Blade armor, it's the strongest of them, just because, you know, Dark Tomes are just naturally strong, and the enemies don't have a res stat in this game.
It probably has a low hit rate, right?
Yeah. Also, Zeiss gets to say something. Well, I'll be damned.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of.
Like out of all the characters, like why not like Sophia or like I don't know, like a Dark Tome user possibly.
Well, to be fair, we are in Burn, so it makes sense for Burn to speak about this. But again,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense than freaking Lalem. Oh yeah, Milady as well. So that makes sense. So yeah, this chapter is pretty much.
Yes, Manicheets.
So what'd you say about Manicheets?
Don't forget chess Manicheets in this chapter, if I remember correctly.
Oh yes, chess Manicheets. Okay, yeah. So this chapter is weird. Even for Binding Blade standards, it's weird, ladies and gentlemen, because like the chapter, it's kind of like this whole maze thing. You got to go around from both sides or one side and go in. There are traps on the floor where if you go past them, they'll spring up. If you've got high enough defense, it won't do anything. There's siege tomes, so joy. And at the same time, if you open certain treasure chests, a monarchy pops out. I'm just thinking, how do they even fit in there? These things aren't small,
I'm just thinking to myself, like, if they're just staying as like a normal human, like maybe, but like, what is the size of the chest? And second of all, if they're staying in dragon form, I'm just like, excuse me, but what the frick?
Yeah, what the actual?
That's just. Wait, you know my review of this from a meme standpoint?
Well, no,
My review of this chapter is a 7 out of 10. Too much water.
That's
a reference to the.
I see. Yeah, IGN. I mean, the water's not really a problem in this chapter. Again, I can just easily go past it. But yeah, with this chapter, it can be a bit of a bitch to traverse unless you've got a flying unit, and the star span's a little bit annoying. But overall, honest to God, for me, this is one of the more forgettable chapters in the game, just because it feels so weird. I guess also because it's right in between chapter 21 and chapter 22, both of which are like massive standout chapters in terms of just story context and what you do. So this one's just kind of there, but the chapter itself is okay. It's just kind of, it's a little bit on the gimmicky side.
Isn't it?
Well, this isn't the first time I was just going to say, it's not the first time I've seen a strategy RPG have enemies in the chest. Unfortunately, due to this game, like the translation took so much of the data in it that they had in Shining Force 2. They actually had to take away the search command in battles. But in that game, there was also enemies in chests. Like for instance, there was harpies in one of them. Yes, and a giant harpy was in a chest.
That's so weird, especially because, like, I can understand having, like, a Mimikyu or something like that, the ones where it looks like a chest but it's actually a monster, but how big do these chests have to be where you got to fit these people in them?
I mean, they look, at least in Shining Force 2, they look sort of about as big as the character sprites, so they look pretty big, but at the same time, it's like when you see the harpies in battle, like the actual battle screen from that game, they're huge.
Yeah.
So it must be like the mannequin in this.
Yeah, every chest is the TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside. In which case, where's all the treasure?
Damn. Speaking of RPGs, I haven't played Pokemon in a long time. Like I used to really like it, but then I tried like Pokemon Moon. I was just like, what? What is this? Like, I was going through the cutscene of like after the first trial, something like that, and like it was so long. I was just like, no, I can't take this. If it's gonna be like this, I can't wait. I just couldn't take it, really.
I mean, Sun and Moon do have a long intro thing. They do take a while, but most Pokemon games, again, the main foundations haven't changed. But some of the other ones, like, Sword and Shield kind of get straight to the point straight away. I mean, it's because, naturally, as Pokemon gets a thing, they've got to, remember, keep appealing to a young audience. Remember, their target demographic is children.
Yeah, but, like, still, like, why would I care about the cutscenes when, like, Pokemon is really focused on story? Like, if I'm doing, like, Fire Emblem, like, hearing stuff like, oh, that's a story, but then, like, Pokemon just, like, I don't care about that.
Well, you may not, but remember who they're appealing to, again. And not to mention, ever since Gen 5, Pokemon has been a little bit more story-focused.
Well, that's not to say that Pokemon never had a story.
Yeah, well, again...
Just, like, it isn't very detailed compared to games like Fire Emblem,
Yeah, but it's never been, and it's never going to be that detailed. That's just Pokemon for you. Pokemon, like, the fact that it has a story to begin with is a surprise, considering, like, even back in the day, the story of Pokemon, all the way back at Gen 1, was very basic. Just go collect badges and stop the Yakuza. Obviously, now it's a bit more fleshed out, but Pokemon is never going to be a story-focused game. They're just, some of the new entries have put a bit more emphasis on it to give Pokemon a bit more staying power aside of just, gameplay.
If you want a story-focused Pokemon game, play the Mystery Dungeon games.
Yeah, the spin-offs are where the story's at. Either Mystery Dungeon, Colosseum, NXT Gale of Darkness, Conquest, that type of thing. Again, the main series is never going to be story-focused. The most we've got is Gen 5, and probably the most we'll ever get is Gen 5. Because that's why it was such a shock to people. But yeah, so with this chapter...
Get a new Pokemon Colosseum game, please.
Yeah, I'd love that. That would be so much fun. So this chapter...
love it as well.
Yeah, the enemies are kind of very hit and miss, because again, a lot of them are just normal units, but then you get like the generals, which have really, really, really bulky defense, so... good, like, if you've got a flyer here, that's really good. At the same time, have someone with, like, a good staff user just to get rid of, like, the star spam. And also, if you have one, a Berserker works really well here, too, because you can easily kill the snipers and dark mages with your hand axe, and you can take down the generals, too. So Gonzalez is like, I've trained for this day.
And also,
at least
water with Berserker.
Yeah, that's very true.
So,
at least we don't have... I was going to say, at least we don't have the Great Shield skill on the generals here, because that would just make this even worse.
Yeah, well, if they were lucky. But you were saying?
Was it, like, when you first started, like using emulation, like, was it really that difficult? Because, like, I've been wanting to, like, play some of the, like, other Fire Emblem games, like Binding Blade, the Telly series, but then, like, I'm just, like, looking at what... The art is just, like... That's just the what, like, I'm just looking at emulation, and it just, like, looks so confusing to me.
It depends on the emulator in question, not so much the game, the emulator. I'll tell you what, the GBA emulator, if you want to play, like, Sacred Stone's Binding Blade, GBA emulator is piss easy. It's the easiest emulator to run. Some of them are a bit more complex. There are a lot more tools out there to make it easier in general, so it's not that difficult to run. Like, SNES isn't that hard either. But, honest to God, GBA is the absolute easiest. And the first one I had was GBA, and again, that was absolute piss to run.
Well, like, I would only need GBA to play Binding Blade, because I do have FE7 on my Wii U, and I'm planning to get an FE8 on it, too.
Well, again, like, the GBA emulator is incredibly easy. Things like GameCube and, like, Dolphin's a little bit harder, but not that much, but you should be alright for the most part. And DS isn't that bad either.
Yeah, I just need, like, a bit of, like, a tutorial or two, and then, like, a bit of my little experience to understand it, you know?
Well, again, there's plenty of YouTube videos. That's how I got the Dolphin emulator to work, and that's how I was able to stream Path of Radiance.
But at least nobody's trying to use the Saturn emulator, because, well, I can get it working now, but it's been a pain in the bum.
Yeah, apparently, because apparently when my brother tried to get it working, Project 64 is a pain in the ass.
I wouldn't say it's a pain in the ass. That was one of the ones I found pretty easy. Like most Nintendo ones, actually, are besides Dolphin.
Well, again, that was just maybe for him. It varies from person to person. But I think we can all, for us who've used it, GBA is so easy. GBA is, in my opinion, the absolute easiest emulator to run.
I would argue Mega Drive because, well, that's just because I'm a Sega fanboy, so.
Yeah, but either way, most of the, honest to God, if it's not a 3D console, it's pretty easy. Bang. Damn! Get the fuck out of here.
Damn, boy.
Yeah.
That's why Gonzalez is the best Berserker.
Well, yeah, I mean, who else are you going to pick? Who else are you going to pick? Geese? Wow, even a critical wasn't enough. Well, no, well, in this particular game, I mean, other games are, there's lots of good fun. I mean, look at Hawkeye. Guy joined to like fucking 50 HP.
Oh, jeez. Me thinking Berserkers are good. Sees their low hit rate, bruh.
Yeah, but
like,
then sees their crit rate. Bruh.
Yeah, just like, like in some games, like I don't really use axes all that much because like just the low hit rate, it's a bit hard to rely on for me.
Yeah, well, again, that varies per Fire Emblem game because Tellius, the axe hit rates are actually nice level up. The axe hit rates are pretty good. It's GBA where the axe hit rates are piss. Binding Blade especially is the worst.
So then again, that's always been what an axe in Fire Emblem is. They've always been kind of low hit rate but huge power.
Yeah, again, that's the general mentality, yeah. Which, to be fair, that makes them balanced, because again, if they had high hit rates, what's literally the point of using any other weapon? Yeah, so for this chapter, my team mostly comprised of the units that are lower level, or like not as strong as some of the other ones, so I use this as like the last training ground, if you will. So fuck off, that was a 15.
Come on. It's just... I can't, from my memory, I haven't really had an experience where I get hit by that kind of a move, but... Jeez,
yeah, because you shouldn't.
Like, rage-inducing. Yeah,
welcome to Binding Blade.
Yeah.
The law requires that you must not hit this.
Again, Binding Blade is just so weird when it comes to RNG. It's not like is it? Yeah, it's still the worst one I've experienced. I know it varies from person to person. That's the one thing that's interesting. Whenever you say, okay, what's the worst RNG in every Fire Emblem game, it's usually never the same answer because it varies so much for people.
Yeah, 'cause some people could say Fates because of how BS its true hits, its so-called true hit system is.
I mean, to be fair, I had that recently. Oh my god, the most recent run of Conquest I had some really piss poor RNG. Again, the amount of fucking between 80 and 95s I missed, it wasn't even funny. It's like, come on!
So at this point, you wish you had the Mira's Turn Wheel or the Divine Pulse from it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially in Conquest, because newsflash, Conquest isn't a game that exactly, allows for mistakes. So if you're at the mercy of the RNG, whoopsie doodle, you gotta do the chapter again.
Yeah. I'm speaking of like turn wheels and all that stuff, like I've heard about some complaints about Three Houses and like how Divine Pulse, it's just like you're given too many of them, and I can kind of agree on that, cause 13, I'm like, you automatically win. Well, it's like maddening, you just keep getting hit by the...
I think it depends. I think, again, I can understand Thingamajig. I think someone brought this up with Echoes. I think Divine Pulses would be a lot more, thing if, say, they didn't refresh, or, something like that. So say you have 13, and you're halfway through the game, but if you used one, you don't get it back, so you've only got 12 for the rest of the game. I think that would have been a bit better, so there's a bit more risk to it.
Oh, that could have been a cool idea.
I mean, you could do an Iron Man with that type of role as well.
Yeah, definitely. Because again, most of the time, me using the turn wheel, it's not because I made the wrong moves, because the RNG decided to fuck me over, and that's never the player's fault. That's just the RNG being a bitch, and that's that's just unfair. Try to snipe me forgetting that I have a Delphi shield.
And then that usually ends up with you just circling around with the arrow, just trying to make sure the RG doesn't do the exact same thing all over again, because that's totally not happened to me in Three Houses on the final map.
Yeah, again,
trying to beat the final boss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because again, sometimes you have to manipulate the RNG into not doing the same things. You've got to maybe use a different item or use a different unit. The only thing that that Three Houses did, which again I don't mind actually, is that level ups. Alright, they're not fixed, but again, when you get a level up, even if you Divine Pulse, it's fixed. Give me your HP.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So you get RNG screwed, tough shit. You're getting RNG screwed.
And most students have. And most of the students.
So you were saying?
Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just trying to say most of the students they're guaranteed to get at least three stats up, but a bit like how how Radiant Dawn did the bonus experience. You're always guaranteed at least three of the stats in your level.
Yeah, you rarely ever get RNG screwed. Again, you usually don't get 0. I think I've only had 1 or 2 instances where I've got a 0. Fuck off. But most of the time you do get a few. I mean, Free House is quite generous with its level ups because it is a growth-based Fire Emblem game, so yeah, it kind of has to be. And even then, Free House is clever because it's designed in a way where, like, even if you don't get the best level ups, when you promote to a certain class, if you haven't reached the minimum threshold, it will bump you up to that threshold.
Yeah, like for example, like Annette, like every single time, like I think I've heard this from other people, but like she gets no speed level ups, like all this time that like when she promotes, like just does a random like big boost for speed, and yet she still doesn't level up in speed.
Yeah,
like,
again.
What is her growth?
Yeah, well, well, I think she's, if I remember correctly, I think she's got the lowest HP growth along with Constance at 20. I'm not sure about speed though. Yeah, but then again, Lysithea doesn't need HP because she one-shots everything. But yeah, I like that thing where, again, because again, if you're, the caps aren't that big, but again, if you've got screwed over, you can still recover from it, which I appreciate, because I remember my Linhardt was getting really bad, like, defense level ups, and then he got to a certain thing and it bumped him all the way from 7 to 12. So I was like, yay!
Oh yeah, currently in my maddening playthrough of Black Eagles, geez, like every other person like is getting like decent defense, but like Edelgard, she's got like not good speed, so I'm like thinking she has to have good defense, right? Nope, she's like stuck at 9 defense. I'm like, bruh, Linhardt has the same defense. Level up your game. I'm just like confused.
Well, I just hope to God she has a really good attack stat.
Wait.
Yeah, she has good attack. Like, she can often one shot at times.
In the maddening run.
Oh yeah, what class is Edelgard in the maddening run?
Like, I'm put her in a Brigand first, but then I'm thinking about putting her to Armor Knight to maybe help with that defense.
Brigand is actually really good to make sure you master that so that you can get Death Blow.
Yeah. Yeah, I must have been mastering classes recently, all that. Have you heard of the build with Bernadetta where you put, bow prowess level 5, bow crit plus 10, Vantage, and Battalion Wrath? You remember that?
No, the one oh sweet, I got 15 magic on a Clarine, hell yeah. But the one I have heard of is Bernadetta, put her on 1 HP and then just activate Vengeance.
Yeah, my lord, just like, when I discovered how good Vengeance can be, I'm like, easy. Like...
Yeah, again, it's like... Also, especially because Bernadetta has that skill, which I found so useful in the early game, where she does +5 damage when she's not 100% HP, which in the early game is a fucking godsend.
Yeah, and like, I would give her like a mini bow, like she want to get doubled, like hit, and then that, and then like deal more damage, and then just boom, you got him.
Yeah, again, Bernadetta was... She fluctuated a lot for me when it came to, what do you call it? Effectiveness. Like, again, during the early game she was really good, then she went silent for a bit, and then when she became Bow Knight she became really good again. So again, Bernadette fluctuated a lot for me, but she was definitely one of my stronger Black Eagles. Then again, some of those Black Eagles, man, fucking Petra,
yeah,
oh my
in my first playthrough, like my top 3 units in terms of battles and like kills were Byleth, then Sedith, and then Bernadetta.
Well, Sedith is disgusting, man, especially when you unlock Swift Strike.
I mean...
Also, this general took so fucking long to kill. Remember, we saw him at the start of the map, and it took us like how many minutes? It took us 18 minutes to kill him.
Jeez.
Also, fun fact about Seth is his Japanese voice actor is the same as Dio's Japanese voice actor.
You thought Rhea was in charge, but it was I, Sethis.
Really? Oh my! I never know that.
That explains the memes. That explains the memes.
Yes.
Also, oh god, look at those fucking stats for Gonzalez. He's almost cat speed and strength. And remember, he's got big cats for those stats.
You know what could have been cool? Like there have been people like thinking about like a Jagan archetype in the early game. That could have been Gerald. Like that could have been a cool idea.
Could have been, definitely, because again, you do see him in certain maps, and he has his own stats and stuff. I think that would have been cool. Like again,
But as a greener, he's just like suicide.
Well, that's just
dead.
That happens. You could be a great unit, but the moment you start wearing green, your brain just melts.
Unless you're an archer. Unless you're an archer, Archer 313. Let's us never forget.
Oh wait, that's a Radiant Dawn, right?
Although they technically
yes, that's the one.
Yeah, technically they're not green, they're yellow, and yellow units are actually good. Seriously.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that one NPC who's a boss. I mean, to be fair, the last time I streamed Blazing Sword, there was those 2 knights in chapter 21 of Blazing Sword who one of them got a fucking crit and took down a dude. I was like, bro. I always love it when the green units actually don't do something stupid, because it's so out of left field for them. So yeah, with the treasure chest, I don't bother opening any of them until I've cleared out all the enemies, because the last thing I need to do is get ambush spawned by a dragon at the very last turn, because, you know, they hurt. They really, really hurt. And besides, we'll see enough dragons by the end of this game. Christ.
Oh yeah, you know what's the only reason people use Ash in Three Houses?
Because he's a good boy.
No, that
Yes,
dexterity. It's like all my blue lions fight through. Like, compared to Bernadette, like, Bernadette had a bit more attack and more speed, but, like, Ash had 44 dexterity by the end game. I was just like, killer bow, crit.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
Yeah, Ash is kind of like that middle ground. He's not, like, again, he's kind of, he's just an overall solid archer. He doesn't reach the heights of, obviously, not Claude, Bernadette, Shamir, and Leone, but he's overall pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, Ignatz is actually a pretty good archer as well.
I heard that Ignatz makes for a good assassin.
Oh, yes. Yes, he does.
I haven't used Ignatz before, like in my Golden Deer playthrough, like in the early game, like I used him a decent amount, but like Bernadette overshadowed him and Claude, and then like by the time skip, I just completely benched him because I recruited so many other units on my house.
To be fair, Ignatz does, again, that's the one problem Ignatz has. Not so much he's a bad unit, it's just that he, like, compared to other houses, he has some of the steepest competition. He's got Leone and Claude to compete with, and that's hard.
Yeah, and then you got Ash, Bernadetta, Shamir, and then
Yeah, but yeah, again, obviously there's the outside people, but if you focus on just within the houses, usually with the game is like Three Houses is actually cleverly set up in a way where each unit within its own house has its own niche and doesn't really like have to compete too much with other people. Like with Black Eagles, obviously like Linhart's the best healer. Hubert's the best magical attacker, but Dorothea is potent enough to run both because Hubert can't really do much as magic healing, and Linhart's not the best attacker, but Dorothea, though not as good as them, can run both. So even though she's a middle ground, she still has a good niche.
yeah, but honestly, in my opinion, like Ignatz doesn't really have a middle ground, really. I mean, like, actually, imagine him as a dancer. Like I've heard of those ideas.
Apparently, Ignatz is really good in the luck stat. So it's got that going for
Strange.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
Yeah,
the best... You go, talk. You talk.
Oh, sure. I found out that anytime my Ignatz went against any of the monsters, like specifically in the chapter in the Golden Deer when you're going against Edelgard, I found that he kept proccing lethality on the monsters every single time I used them to attack them. Cause, you know, I'll destroy their shield, get the items from them, and he kept killing them.
Yeah,
so
well, again, lethality would be incredible considering how much HP they have. So yeah, I could definitely see really good utility there.
Oh boy, but like,
Even though
I think like the best dancer, in my opinion, is Marianne. I mean, like,
well, Marianne is
magic.
Marianne is a case of she's actually one of the units who is extremely versatile. She can run so many different things, but she is well suited to dancer. I can't remember who is the best.
I mean, she can heal decently. She's got.
She's a good. She's a damn good healer.
Yeah, and like her blood gain that can work really well with dancer.
Again, I don't know who the best dancer is. I know some of the better ones are... Alright, usually most of the best dancers are the ones with good magic and good charm, which is why for a lot of people Dorothea is the best dancer, because she uses sword, she uses magic, and she has a high charm, and she has a high amount of charm.
Yeah.
So we got an elixir in this one, and an elixir in this one.
But the flaws with Dorothea is that she doesn't have a crest, and doesn't have like her own relic, sadly.
Yeah, she doesn't, but again, if you're a dancer, that's not a problem.
Yeah, but Marianne on the other hand, she does have a crest and has her own like.
Yeah, that's why that added to her versatility. The fact that she can do so much. She can run physical. She can run support. She can run attack. She can run speed DPS. She can run long range healing and all that stuff. She can run gambit. She can run a lot.
In my opinion, if you're playing Three Houses, like Black Eagles, you can pick Dorothea, Golden Deer, Marianne, but then Black Eagles. Hold on, Blue Lions. Who's a good dancer in the Blue Lions?
Annette, Mercedes, they're both good dancers.
Did you?
Or if worse comes to worse, just go with Flame.
Flame.
Or just make Byleth one.
Unless you're doing Black Eagles and Ninja, don't do Flame.
Yeah, well, obviously you can't because because you lose Flame, which is a shame. You lose Flame. That is a shame.
Yeah. That me playing on Black Eagles choosing Crimson Flower, thinking that I'm gonna keep playing. Flame runs away. God damn it! Where's my little cinnamon?
I thought it would have been really nice if, because I could see this potentially happening. If, say, you had a B support with Flame and she stuck with you, but only if you had a B support by that time.
So similar to Gel and Path of Radiance.
Yeah, similar to that. That's the only way I could have seen. Because again, her sticking with you, her leaving you makes sense from a plot standpoint. She wouldn't stick with you, but if you had a B support, that might have encouraged her a little bit more. Might. But oh well, in an alternate universe, I'm sure this happened. And in the same alternate universe, Fate had the best story in any Fire Emblem game.
Or somebody could just hack 3 houses and make that happen.
True, but it'll be good luck with that. Again, 3 houses is a bit more of an undertaking to hack than other Fire Emblem games because it's just bigger and more complex hardware.
So BlazePlays, who's your favorite of the 3 houses of voice actors?
Honest to God, that's the thing. They all do a fantastic job. I love them all. But honest to God, I think Rhea's voice actress, who actually does the voice of Shida in Warriors, I love Rhea's voice actress the most because she's incredibly versatile and she's able to portray Rhea in such, like, whenever Rhea has to be, like, really soothing and stuff, when she also has to be really monstrous, she does it so well and so effectively. Outside of that, I also really like Bernadetta's voice actor for, again, the way she's able to change her, like, her tempo and all that stuff so quickly in Panic. I also really like Hubert's voice actor.
Oh yeah, also, did you know that the voice actor from Bernadetta also voices Deirdre in Heroes? Imagine a genealogy remake.
So wow, the most panicky Fire Emblem character is also the most calm Fire Emblem character.
And there's also, known for explosions.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, I've actually met Shemi Lee, the voice actress of Shida, Cecilia from in Heroes. I've met her quite a couple years ago at SunnyCon. She even signed my copy of Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem. It's got Shida on the back.
Oh, that's awesome. Again, I know she voices quite a few, it's just Shida stuck out to me. She's a wonderful voice actress. So yeah, we got the Apocalypse tome. Huzzah.
Alright.
And I've also met Erica Mendez, the voice of Bernadetta.
Oh, nice. Yeah, again, Fire Emblem voice actors, it's rare for one voice actor to voice one Fire Emblem character. Usually they voice multiple, but that's that's with a lot of games and stuff like that. One voice actor can have multiple roles. So yeah, Roy is finally about to promote because fucking hell, it's been so damn long. I bet he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm promoted.
Finally useful.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm promoted. And then we look at his stats. Boy, you're still shit.
Although boy Roy is getting puberty.
But here's the thing, Roy is one of the few Fire Emblem lords. This isn't officially changes sprite when he promotes. All that changes is he stands for when using the Binding Blade, and it slightly modifies his sprite when he's got the Binding Blade, but that's about it.
Yeah, literally, his sprite and his attack animations are no different. I think that's real fucking lazy. I mean, come on, he's supposed to promote. Again, if they do the remake, I hope he gets his promotion, he actually turns into his Smash Bros. Form, where he's got, the proper armor thing.
I mean, as a Roy cosplayer myself, I think I love his design, but yes, it would have been nice if he got a promotion like, as you say, his current Smash Bros. Outfit and what he's been using for most artwork now. Yeah,
exactly, because it just makes him look more, more intimidating, more of a leader. Here, he still looks like a kid. So yeah, we've got the Binding Blade. For whatever you do, don't use the Binding Blade on yourself, because it only acts as an elixir. I always found that so weird. So yeah, Roy promotes into...
Why would you...
Roy.
I'll give Shining Force this. At least with their legendary weapons, they don't break, and you can use freeze and blaze to whichever magic that they have, which is quite nice. And
you know what would be nice for Roy if he promoted earlier, like Chapter 16, like he should have, and B, hell, give him a second weapon type. Give him lances, because we don't have an infantry and lance. No, sword and lance specific class.
Yeah, again, the closer we have is Eliwood, but he has a mount.
Yeah.
Really rarely Fire Emblem games are there foot-locked lance units.
Yeah, because they're mostly relegated to the flying classes or the mounted ones. But anyway, so that's the end of that chapter, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and thank you to all my co-commentators for joining me.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Thank you for having me back on.
A pleasure as always.
This series.
Yep. Okay, and so next time we meet, we're taking the fight to Sophia. We're finally going to take him down. But if you think Roy's going to be the one to challenge Sophia, you've got another thing coming. Wendy wants her fucking seat back.
Yeah, boy, bad.
Round two, bitch.
Send the nuke Lolina.
Yeah, well, that too. But until then, thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care, stay safe, and have a wonderful day, everybody.